everybody. Welcome on into another episode of Two Fat Drunks. I'm JDV.
I'm Warpig.
In this episode, we're going to talk about the top five greatest action movie villains ever of all the times. Coming up
Next,
Reno. So this episode, we're going to talk about top five best villains in action films. Oh, before we get to that, go to evilgeniusentertainment.com and check out some t-shirts. We are going to premiere for free our last full-length film, Five Must Die, on, I think, the Halloween Eve on our website for free. So go to evilgeniusentertainment.com.
for free, kids. Yeah, you can't beat that. Hey, I mean, that's a lot of entertainment.
What was the first character that jumped into your mind?
Hans Gruber.
See, and that is where we're going to have our first point of contention right off the bat. Because you'd think it would be Hans Gruber. You'd think so.
It was the first thing that came to my mind. I had to say it was the first thing that came to my mind.
It's the first one that came to my mind. And yet, it won't be in my top five because of this reason. He never really fights the hero of the film. And all of mine are people who actually, characters that actually get into it with...
you mean physically? It's a physical battle.
There's actually going to be one exception to that.
Exception to the rule already.
Yeah, because he is great in it, but it's mostly great because he has so many great lines and he's such a great actor. He never actually kicks the shit out of Bruce Willis. It's because it's so much his minions. He's like the Dr. Claw character.
But let me bring it back.
Enter the Dragon.
Let me bring it back a little bit, okay? Because I'm going to explain to you why.
Great performance, great villain.
Well, here's why for me, I like him as a villain. He does make my top five list because he has one thing that I like a lot.
I guess I would put him in my top five, but at five.
I'm starting to, but let me give you my reasoning, because the reasoning is this. He exemplifies to me one of the coolest things about a really well-written villain is that
they're round, they're smart.
You totally get why they follow him.
Yeah.
These people are being paid, but they're organized around a guy telling them to do something pretty extreme.
Right.
Yeah, they're soldiers of fortune, but this is extreme, and we're doing this in a foreign country.
They're murdering dozens of people, destroying a multi-million-dollar building.
Any of them gets caught, life forever. In the United States, you do that? No. But they give him a reason because he feels like he's always in control, and they report to him and also give him shit. But within that context, like, they listen to him because they know he knows what he's talking about. He's got it set up, and everything is working according to plan, except for McClane. And that's why I like him, because he gives you that sense of, because there's some villains you watch, like, why would you follow him? He's a fucking dick. He's not a good dick. He's a dick that's going to get you killed.
But what I would say is this, and this is my kind of counter argument.
All right.
Think about Robert Shaw in Battle of the Bulge. Robert Shaw plays a German general who is essentially the spearhead of the German attack during the Battle of the Bulge. And he is a great villain. Magnificent actor at the top of his powers in a super well-written, juicy part where what he does is causing the death of hundreds and thousands of American soldiers.
Right.
He is absolutely a villain. He wipes out a village or a town for no other reason other than to stick it in the eye of the Allied forces.
Can I give you a counter?
And that's pretty much what Hans Gruber is. He's both German and doesn't actually physically hurt anybody himself. And that's, so it's like...
But the problem with that comparison,
Gruber's better.
No, but the big problem with the comparison is that the only context you are seeing Shaw as a villain is his German association.
He directly gives the orders to destroy Amblev.
Because this is a war. And it kind of doesn't count, because if you had an American on the other side doing the exact same thing, you're like, ooh, ruthless but effective general. And I'm not excusing him, but what I'm saying is it's in war. The context is war. He is executing war ostensibly in defense of his country. You see what I'm saying?
I'll buy that, yeah.
So that's kind of where that, whereas Hans Gruber's he's not morally justified in anything he's doing.
It goes to what I'm saying is that for me to have really be a great villain, you have to have sort of that interaction with the hero a little bit more. Now, Gruber he's going to be my number 5.
They can't mouse it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it is a total because
like
he's
chess.
He's thinking the other guy out.
He's eliminating Hans Gruber's chess pieces.
Yeah,
like he's the queen, all by himself on the chessboard, and
he figures out where to go. He knows where he's at. He's telling the one guy to do what's what. And he says, "No, just do this." Meanwhile, he's fucking fist fight with the FBI at the same time. And he's great with. So
I'll say I can agree with him.
Okay,
the Bedelia. I'll say that I can put him on my number 5.
Okay,
but the reason why he's not going to be my number 1 for sure is because he never really fights with Bruce Willis.
Give me your next guy, man. Come on,
the person who made me think of this actually was I was watching Bloodsport for the 75th time.
Kumite. Right? Frank Dukes.
Mr. Dukes founded his own system called Dukes Dukeytons. Dukes
Wait, what does the guy do? He goes.
Okay, USA.
Okay, USA. No, the guy who does fucking. Your instructor is Master Shidoshi. Then you must know the dim mark.
What the heck's a dim mac?
Right.
Says the guy who plays Ogre.
Dude, that guy who plays Ogre. That guy's so great. I'm sorry I can't remember his name, but I do love him.
Donald Gibbs. Wow, dude.
That was.
Where did I pull that out? Donald Gibbs.
That was good, dude.
Wow, Donald Gibbs plays.
That was good, bro. Yeah. And
but in that movie, obviously, it's the movie that made Van Damme.
Yeah, and you're talking about Bolo Yeung.
Part of the reason is Bolo Yeung is the villain. And holy crap.
Don't they just call him Bolo?
Yeah.
They don't even bother. Like, oh, no, you know who this is.
They're just fighting Bolo Yeung.
It's just Bolo Yeung. We didn't actually cast him. He just showed up.
He's freaking great in that movie. In part because he's still at the prime of his powers physically. He's huge. He has got great charisma. He has all the street cred from being in Enter the Dragon.
Right. Yeah, he's been in tons of martial
and he's
arts
better
movies,
in this than he is in.
He's a fixture over there, dude. He's a fixture in Asia.
He is better in this film than he is in Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
Just because you see him more.
He gets to do more stuff.
And he, when he cripples, Ogre and Donald Gibbs.
It's just.
He is.
Then he hypes the crowd up.
Yeah, I mean, and he's so perfect in that role, and he beats up so many extras.
Double the Van damage.
And of course, in the movie climaxes into the two of them having hand-to-hand combat.
So did I.
And let me guess, when the little spider guy
Fight to survive,
you gotta fight.
Kumite.
Just to survive.
Dude, for random, Forrest Whitaker's did it.
Totally random. Academy Award winner.
Right.
Forrest Whitaker.
The Eye Whitaker. So, yeah.
So,
how's that get me?
He is great in that movie. He's in the movie a lot. Mm-hmm. He is, without a doubt, the prime factor upon which everything else in that film revolves
You are the prime
off
factor.
Of.
I am the factor.
And he's great kung fu artist. I mean, it is so. That is what got me to think of the topics. When I saw him, I went, man, is there anybody better than Bolo Yeung as a villain
in an action film? And that's the part.
In a pure action
straight
film.
up, and it's got to be action. So, because if you're including Bloodsport,
got to.
You're including movies that are hand-to-hand combat. You're including movies that are fucking, that are machine gun based.
Like he's a better villain than Apollo Creed is in the Rocky films because you
like Apollo.
We like Apollo even when we hate Apollo. We still Apollo Creed.
That's Apollo Creed,
he's
dude.
so great in that part.
Fucking Carl
he's not doing anything villainous. He's just beating up on the protagonist.
I would love to hang out with Carl.
And then becomes the protagonist in the third film. So I would love Carl.
Yeah, that'd be fucking cool.
So he's not. You know what I mean? Just,
right.
Bolo Yeung is so great in that part.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go. So give me another one. So anyway,
okay, because I had to really sort of broaden my definition a little bit because when I first thought about, back to the point I made about there's a reason why you would follow him. right? There's a reason why you'd follow him. And
Go on.
I thought of Thulsa Doom. Right? And now I'm gonna include Conan as an action film because what else is it?
Well, we got to talk about then the sci-fi films. But go on.
But okay, but because it rides the line, right? But I like Thulsa
But it
Doom.
purports to kind of be reality. Yes, there's some magic in it, but it's basically saying this happened.
And he has Thulsa Doom as a villain.
You know what it is, don't you, boy?
They caught him, right? When they caught him, ordinarily they would have just killed somebody like that, but they didn't because Thulsa Doom.
You mean Conan as a boy?
Yeah. No. I'm talking about at the temple when they catch him just before the scene at the
before
fountain.
they crucify him.
Right. Well, he could have just had him killed and that was it, but he didn't. He brings him in because he's like, who was that? Right? And
That is strength.
right?
That is
He
power.
actually talks to him because first of all, he lists out the charges. You broke into my house, murdered my servants, and killed my pets, and that is what grieves me the most. You killed my snake.
Rexor.
He's beside himself with grief.
Raised that snake from a
time I was
baby.
born.
Baby tiny snake, little cute snake.
You even took my eye of the serpent.
But
And he bothers to do all that because
you know what's great is that
his belief system is look around you. How evil is he? I mean, he's just figured it out.
I would put him above Gruber because at least there is the.
I'm listening forward, definitely.
The hand, there is no real hand-to-hand combat because of course Thulsa Doom can't, and yet really what he is a wizard.
Yeah,
so there is
demigod.
that. For who is your father now? If it is not.
me.
I thought me.
I am
whatever.
the wellspring from which you flow.
So he's like casting spells on Arnold,
Right?
and like, he's like, oh shit.
And that's why those guys, and they show those scenes where those guys follow him. Especially the one part when Rexor gets knocked out by the piece of masonry when the snake head falls on him, and Thulsa Doom walks over and says to Thorgrim, help him.
Yeah. He's not a two-dimensional character at all.
He loves his guys.
He does.
They know he's going to take care of them.
Yeah. No, he's a great villain. Absolutely great action movie villain. But again, another guy who doesn't actually go into the...
Goes toe-to-toe with the guy.
Doesn't go toe-to-toe.
Right.
And
So give me your next one.
the first villain that will be on everybody's list for Everything Always is going to be Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the elephant
Vader.
in the room. Can we talk about Vader? Should we count Vader because it's in a sci-fi?
You can count Vader...
I think you have
And I
to.
think
we're going to count fantasy
we're going to
movies.
think about the same thing because we're going to think about the Vader from the original Star Wars.
Does the fact that that franchise has crapped the bed so hard and long, does it diminishes him to me? Because yes,
I don't want to say so.
but it does. It does.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you could exist in a vacuum where only the first three movies and maybe
can't.
Rogue One, but you can't.
Can't because they did it, dude. It's oh my god. It's
And so that's why
bad.
it hurts. It's
Jesus. Yeah,
so bad that I mean,
It's injurious.
I could see him in there. You know, I guess I would have to
Well,
put Darth Vader in there if not for
right.
nostalgia, but he can't be my number one
Right.
because
It's just the way that you never directly. I don't know. I mean, okay, so you want to ask me what my number one is for action movie villains, right?
well, it's
There's an interesting aspect to this one because
got a pretty good one, but
okay, and I don't know if you would expect this coming, but Baron Vladimir Harkonnen,
Baron
as played by Kenneth
McMillan. Bring me that floating fat man.
The Baron.
Baron.
Jose Ferrer. He is fucking terrifying.
Well, he's super smart and he's super evil.
And yeah, but he's like, and crazy, but not out of control crazy, like crazy as a weapon crazy. You know what I mean?
He's weaponized
Like
stupid.
he just fucking murders that one dude in the room just because fucking I'm getting a boner and fucking rips his heart plug out. You're like,
So
and he just smears blood all over him, watches him die, puts the blood on his face. I'm like,
So
you
do you-
lead these people.
again, I will point out to you that your pick doesn't physically
There's no physical
actually
action,
do
right.
anything I mean,
not to the hero
at all with the protagonist.
To the protagonist's
To some
father.
victims, but mostly he is giving out orders, and it's his plan, and his army, and his house.
Right.
It is not him.
Okay, so give me.
So I'm not arguing with you.
I'm not here to argue with you.
But three of your top three is our characters.
Because I think in terms of people that command and people that reason why you follow a guy.
But see, I'm going to win right now because the character does everything that you're saying. Is a leader. Everyone around him believes in him. He's a well-rounded character. He is, he's smart. He's evil. And yet the audience kind of empathizes with him in a way, and that's going to be Rutger Hauer in Blade Runner. That's a good one.
Well, and what's funny is that you can go ahead and make a mirror argument and cast that movie as Deckard the villain.
Deckard's the villain, sure.
Because Deckard is the villain, because you are with Deckard while he's doing these things. And he's telling you he's conflicted about doing these things.
They don't put ads in the paper for what I did, which was murder bitches like it was free.
But he's still doing it. And you're just kind of like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you just,
But that's part of the genius of that film is that both characters are round. You can read into it almost anything you want.
Whose view do you take, man?
Rutger Hauer is the villain of that film all the way up until the last 45 seconds.
That's a good one, dude. That's a real good one.
So let's do a couple of runner-ups.
All right, I have who might be in his own way slightly better than that.
I got two.
And I'll give it to you why.
Give it to me now.
Because it came up earlier.
Suck it to me.
General Zod.
Yeah.
From Superman 2.
Yeah.
Right? But there's the fact that somehow everybody knows Kneel before Zod.
Kneel before Zod.
If you don't remember the rest of the film.
All right, I got one for you. I got one. I got two, but I'll do...
give it to me.
All right, so... You're a lethal weapon.
Which one?
One, baby.
Lethal Weapon 1 was the guy who hired Gary Busey. Yeah, Gary Busey.
Come on, Mr. Joshua burns his arm and shit.
That guy who plays the guy who's like, you're hiring mercenaries. Tell me I'm wrong. That guy is great. I've seen him in a ton of stuff, and I can't remember.
But yeah, Gary Busey is Mr. Joshua.
Mr. Joshua, Gary, most Gary Busey.
Right, he's fantastic. Right,
and they just fuck. We're gonna get in a fist fight. Which is hilarious because in Lethal Weapon, it's so funny.
First time there's jiu-jitsu ever in a film.
But they reference Tai Chi, which is really funny to me because he says, fucking Danny Glover goes, yeah, like Tai Chi and all that shit. He looks at him, yeah.
I learned that when I was 6.
Tai Chi. Anyway, so Mr. Joshua.
Great one because, again, he's the main villain. Really, when you get down to it, he is the one doing all the action. And they have a fight on the front lawn of the house.
Right, front lawn fight. Anyway,
Ricardo Montalban. Come on, if we don't include Khan. See, now I'm breaking my own rule. You know why? They're never even on the same set, ever.
They don't have to be.
Right, and so that was my exception.
Captains.
That is the one exception to my rule is that, because they're captains of ships, they can never realistically ever fight. But this is hand-to-hand combat if you're a captain of a battleship.
Right, yeah, it's a chess match, right, between two ships, and that's...
He's intelligent.
But his pattern indicates two-dimensional thinking.
Dun-dun-dun.
Where you go?
Dun.
She can outrun us, as well as outgun us, but there is the Mutara Nebula. Sir, all that static discharging gas through the nebula, our shields will be useless. Sauce for the goose, Savick. The odds will be even.
I don't know. Heard that has one of the greatest movie scores of all time. But so, come on, man. Ricardo Montalban as Khan. One of the great villains of all time. But again, a round character, someone who you can understand why they're doing what they're doing. Someone who can, why can you follow him?
They have a discussion, like he actually, because remember the scene where he goes, "Sir, we can't, sir. Why can't you? The feet damage the photon controls. And
raise them,
sir. We must withdraw. No, we must. Right?
He's great.
Sir,
he's so great.
With you.
Okay, thanks for watching the Least Watched Show. on the internet.
I love all of you.
You know, like, subscribe, share. Until next time, love each other.
I have the first one. The first
Right,
one.
I'm still choking.
Stop choking.
I'm doing literally doing the X when I'm choking.
Yeah, look, I know what that means.
It means stop.
I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at me. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
God damn. Every time I look at myself, like when I'm on camera, I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like a fucking model here. I feel like fucking. I mean, you know, you can be. You know, you can be the intellectual part or the hey, I'm a knowledgeable guy part. I'll just be the beefcake, bro. I'll be like the eye candy. Be like, God damn, man. There's girls.
You're like
there's
candy
girls
that
watching the
melted
show.
on the dash of a '79 Buick.
Oh, 79. That's badass. I'll take it.
Be sure to visit EvilGeniusEntertainment.com for exclusive content, swag, casting call news, and much, much more.